there's nothing wrong with winning.
Right. Of course not.
And if you should win. And when the ball drops, first pitch is made, you're competing. Mm-hmm. That's part of it. And the goal in playing a game is to win the game. Our goal as coaches is, you said character earlier. We're missing the mark if all we're doing is trying to create baseball players. I did it. It's got to be somebody. My dad told me that when I was 7 or 8 years old, watching Dale Murphy at Fulton County Stadium. And he said, son, it's got to be somebody. Why not you?
Yeah,
it has to be somebody. Mm-hmm. I get it. But the numbers, just the math doesn't math on, thinking if that's the expectation, we're setting up almost all these kids for failure.
Yeah.
And I'm not smart enough to have come up with this, but I've stolen it from people that are smarter than me. If our goal is to teach baseball players to become collegiate players or Major League Baseball players, we're missing the mark. Mm-hmm. We're looking at 1 out of every couple of 100 that are coming through. But 100% of these kids are sons, are brothers, are going to become husbands, are going to become fathers, and are going to become men. Yeah. And now we have a handful of women girls that play with us that are going to become women. The SBL program that Lindsay's spearheading. We're trying to reach kids and teach them a little bit about life through a game. And, the philosophy, the core philosophy behind the program is we preach 2 things, attitude and effort. You give me 100% of what you got today. Tomorrow is going to be a different level of 100%. Yesterday was a different level than 100%. Give me what you got today.
A sincere thank you to Wellstar North Fulton Medical Center for its sponsorship and for fostering a healthy community where businesses can thrive. We'd also like to thank WYR Detail for its quarterly sponsorship. Listeners can use code BREWSHINE to receive $25 off a full vehicle detail or receive a free interior refresh with any exterior service.
Welcome back to Brew Talks. I'm Andy Williams, President and CEO of Visit Roswell, the city's official destination marketing organization charged with the promotion of tourism throughout the community. And 2 guests that are on today that are very special to me because this is something I get to do outside of my everyday gig. We have Matt Capps and Carlos Figueroa. These gentlemen are very heavily involved, and one, in fact, is the founder of Roswell's youth travel ball program, Roswell BSBL, youth baseball. We're going to get into that today. We're also going to talk about youth sports and what those do for the development of a child, what those do for communities, and how valuable they are. Matt, Carlos, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You got it. So Matt, we'll start with you. Okay. You had said something one time that really resonated with me. You talked about the founding of Roswell BSBL and why you really wanted to bring that program here. And I won't give the spoilers of it, but it really hit home, and I thought it was the perfect message. So give us the background of how this all came to be for you and your background, because that's vitally important to this.
Yeah. So my background is baseball. Mm-hmm. I played professionally for 16 years, and like a lot of guys whose careers end, mine ended with an injury and not in a way that I wanted it to end. So, candidly, I was pretty bitter at the sport and went as far away from it as I could. I was a relief pitcher. I didn't make the money, enough money to live how I want to live and do nothing. So I knew I had to figure out next steps in life, career-wise, and to make money and provide for my family. So I got into some real estate things and started, dabbling in some medical office space and then some land speculation. And we ultimately ended up building a multifamily project in Huntsville, Alabama. And now working on a deal in downtown Roswell, the Hill Rose Market. So I found that opportunity and took it to my partners on the real estate side. Mm-hmm. But in 2020, I really kind of got a cold call from IMG down in Bradenton, Florida. And they flew me down, and I spent a day on campus with IMG, and they ultimately ended up offering me one of their high school head coaching jobs. So they have 2 high school teams, and I say they flew me down. I drove myself down, and they, paid for my gas and all that stuff, my hotel room. And I'm driving back, and I knew that, moving to Bradenton, which ironically we moved to Roswell from Bradenton. Mm-hmm. So moving back to Bradenton, Florida wasn't really an option. My kids, the ages that they were, my son was 8. and my daughter was 6. I just knew with them in school and kind of ingrained in the community, playing youth sports and dancing here and things like that, that it just wasn't an option to move back to Bradenton. So I say it was an and God said moment. I was driving back on 75 and felt a calling that baseball had blessed me in my life and my family's life in so many ways. And I was doing nothing to give back and help the next generation of baseball players. And it was right around the time my son made the 7U All-Star team and then the 8U All-Star team. And I started coaching him, and I was kind of falling in love back with the game again, with a different perspective, a coach's lens and a dad's lens. And played again at 9, All-Star team again. And I was the head coach of that 9U All-Star team. And the parents came to me and asked me to go travel. And I literally said, y'all go ahead. My son's not ready. He just wasn't showing the love for it. You know, like he wanted to go to practice just to be with his buddies and play around and mess around and have fun and get ice cream afterwards. But the parents and the other kids, they wanted that all-star environment year round, and that's travel baseball. And I had seen some things, not necessarily firsthand, but had heard some things through the grapevine from other parents that I knew whose kids were in it, and just wasn't ready to tackle that with him. But they talked me into it, and I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it my way. We're going to play 10 tournaments. We're going to be done the first week of June, and we're going to go to the beach for a week.
Yeah.
We're going to be a family. You know, we're not going to have this time in our life forever. It's a short period of our life, of our kids being home and young enough to kind of do things like that, like go to the beach and rent a golf cart, ride around, and just be kids and be parents of young kids. So the other parents on that all-star team said, that's exactly why you have to do this. So we latched on with the Georgia Bombers that first year of quote unquote travel, and had a great experience. Can't say a bad thing about that year. Their 10U season, had a lot of fun. Kids got better, and started seeing people come over to us and ask questions. You know, what are you doing? What are you doing that's different? Like your families feel different. Your kids feel different. I said, honestly, I don't know. I'm just doing it the way I would want it done if I was in their shoes.
Yeah.
So about that time, working on the project, the real estate project here in Roswell, started having some conversations with some of the elected officials and city staff, and started to learn a little bit about the Roswell Parks and Rec, because we were at AYBA for the 9U and 10U. And what we found was from 10U and down was very healthy in youth baseball here in Roswell. And then 11U and up, everybody left and nobody could figure it out. And so I'll tell you what the problem is. You've got East Cobb just a few miles down the street to the west. You've got a great program in Milton. You've got a great program in Alpharetta. Go a little south, you've got a couple other programs. Like these kids that want more than rec baseball, they have to leave Roswell. There's not an option here in Roswell. So so we started talking about what it would look like, and the goal was to have 4 teams that first year. We had a tryout. I called Flea, who's off camera over here. We'll see him in a little bit. I called Flea and I said, I'm looking at the registration for this tryout. Now, we started advertising on Tuesday and the tryout was on Sunday. I said, we've got over 300 kids signed up that are going to show up. I said,
so
I need help. I can't do this on my own. So Flea and Carlos, who's sitting here with us, have been instrumental in helping kind of control the growth, but allow us to expand the way we have. And they've been a godsend.
Well, I think, one of the things with BSBL too, and the reason that we've gravitated toward it so much, not only is it our hometown program for travel ball, but you guys do such a good job focusing on the development of the players. And I think what happens often is you have these ring chasers, right? And these rings are, look, let's be honest, they're $13 Amazon rings, and they're great to get.
Well, that'll get you 30 of them too.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding. But, it's about the kid. It's about the athlete. We all like to say, and it's true, that baseball, you teach the ways of life through the game of baseball. And I believe that 100%. It's built who I am, frankly. And you have a kind of a saying too, that you want to be playing 500 ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to go out and win every single tournament. And it's not to be 1,000, because at that point, the kids aren't being pushed, you should lose half your games. You should win half your games. If you're getting, stomped, drop down. If you're winning, step up, and the goal is to develop the kids in the right way and to push them and to teach them, about life, attitude, resilience, hustle, pushing yourselves, overcoming, adversity, all these different things that happen on the baseball field. Carlos, you do that too, in your position. You coach several different teams. Coach Flea does as well too. Matt, and I know you are involved too. So you get, good face time with various levels of talent. And so I think we need to dispel the fact that you have to be this absolute stud athlete. That's not what we're doing here. We're not taking those kids and trying to, make them all go pro. That's that 100% isn't. What we're trying to do is to develop kids, prepare them for high school baseball, teach them the right things at young ages so they do become more competitive, but teach them also about respect and all those different things I've named. And Carlos, you, with all the kids you're coaching too, you see that and you're responding differently to different personalities too. Talk a little bit about how you guys go about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a great story that I love to share about what we do as an organization. I think it falls right in line with what you're describing, right? Matt and Flea welcomed me into this program about 3 years ago. My very first year, brought a team in, and we won 9 games. From a record standpoint, it was a rough season. It wasn't fun. We won 9 games. We lost 36, right? But this is where I love the philosophy of our program, right? And the development, focusing on the athlete themselves versus the chasing rings, right?
Yeah.
And we preached that as a team, right? That was back in 10U. And we said, okay, hey, point is we're going to progress year over year. That's all our focus is on, right? And so the very next year, we went from honestly barely being able to play single A ball to finishing a year playing triple A ball. And we finished right at 500. That was our goal. Our goal was, hey, let's be right around 500. We finished, I think it was 15 and 17, right around there. So very close to reaching our goal. And then last year at 12U, we took another significant jump, right? We went up and we were playing primarily PG tournaments, minor, some open tournaments, right? Really elevating our play. And we finished the season 20, 20, and 2. With a trip to Cooperstown. That was an amazing, opportunity here for the kids. So to your point, that's what this program is about. And this is why, when they welcomed me into the program, I fell in love with the philosophy, what they are building here, and allowed me to participate in this and being instrumental to these players that, hey, this isn't about us going pro. This is about what the next step is for you to develop as a human being, as an athlete, right? I have kids still with me to this day that I've coached from rec, that have seen them now grow to 13 years old now. And it's been an amazing part to be a part of that journey with them, see them grow, not just as ball players, but as individuals, right? And that's the more honoring factor and doing what we do, right? I tell these guys all the time, I want to walk down Roswell one day and I just hear, hey, coach, and they're 20 years old and I'm, hey, coach, how you doing? And that's the more, satisfaction that you get out of this versus saying, I won a tournament. It's going to be all about them remembering you in a long game and you being vital to their development on and off the field. And you hope that they in return do that for the next generation,
100%.
right? And
I love that too, because that's nobody's harder on themselves than the coaches.
Sure. Oh yeah.
I mean, really, should I run this practice a little bit differently? Should I have handled this situation a little bit differently, or this player? Am I being fair? All those different things, right? Yeah. While still wanting to be competitive and do it the right way. And, my first entry into travel ball this fall with you guys, it's been awesome. And, I'm sitting there like, man, are we doing this the right way? Like, is there anything we can do better? And I had a player that came up, he came from another program, and that program, I'm not going to name him, I'm not going to disparage anybody because, all different programs have their strengths and do things well, but they're used to winning a lot. They win. Yeah. And the parents came up and said, you know what? He would rather play with this BSBL program because we feel like we've found a home. Play with you guys and lose a little bit more than be with that program and constantly win. And to me, that was kind of like, okay, we're checking the boxes. Right. We're doing things the right way. We've hit it,
There's nothing wrong with winning.
Right. Of course not.
And if you should win. And when the ball drops, first pitch is made, you're competing. That's part of it. And the goal in playing a game is to win the game. Our goal as coaches is, you said character earlier. We're missing the mark if all we're doing is trying to create baseball players. I did it. It's got to be somebody. My dad told me that when I was 7 or 8 years old, watching Dale Murphy at Fulton County Stadium. And he said, son, it's got to be somebody. Why not you?
Yeah.
It has to be somebody. I get it. But the numbers, just the math doesn't math on, thinking if that's the expectation, we're setting up almost all these kids for failure.
Yeah.
And I'm not smart enough to have come up with this, but I've stolen it from people that are smarter than me. If our goal is to teach baseball players to become collegiate players or Major League Baseball players, we're missing the mark. We're looking at 1 out of every couple of hundred that are coming through, but 100% of these kids are sons, are brothers, are going to become husbands, are going to become fathers, and are going to become men. And now we have a handful of women that girls that play with us that are going to become women. The SBL program that Lindsay's spearheading. We're trying to reach kids and teach them a little bit about life through a game. And the philosophy, the core philosophy behind the program is we preach 2 things: attitude and effort. You give me 100% of what you got today, tomorrow is going to be a different level of 100%. Yesterday was a different level than 100%. Give me what you got today. And give it to me. Let's have fun. If we can teach them to love the game and cultivate that love of the game, if they can't play in the big leagues, they can chase something around baseball, whether it's being a high school coach or a high school instructor, or college coach, or a broadcaster. There's a million different jobs in Major League Baseball that aren't just players. So we really want to teach that love of the game. And like I said, our goal is to equip these kids to be able to compete in high school if they want to.
Sure.
If we can give them the tools to be competitive and make their high school team, we've successfully done our job from 8 to 14. And that's what we want to do. From my perspective, if they're going to play in college, they're going to get drafted and play professionally or in the big leagues. It doesn't matter who coaches them. It really doesn't. It's what that kid is willing to do on their own. That's going to allow them to take those strides. What are they doing when nobody's watching? So going back to practices, attitude and effort. Give me 100% of what you got. The ball rolls between your legs. You miss it. You swing and miss. Who cares? You swing and miss and you strike out and you go in the dugout and you bring your teammates down. Now I got a problem.
That's right. That's right.
You miss the ball and you loaf going after it because going to pick it up because you feel sorry for yourself. Now I got a problem. Finish the play. And then we'll learn from the mistakes. Baseball is a hard game. In my opinion, it's the hardest game in the world to play. So it is built on failure and how you handle failure, and life will punch you in the mouth. How are you going to react? So, and I heard something the other day, I'm going to try not to butcher it, but stats can be padded, character can't.
I like that.
So, if we're preaching wins and losses and stats, are we doing the kids the right justice?
Well, we've got a quote we use. I remind our kids of this at the end of every practice. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect should be something that's unachievable. You're striving for it, but you can't really reach it. But practice makes improvement. Get better every single day. Get back out here. Do something better than you did the day before. And it's really been cool. We've got kids. They're sweet kids. They're aggressive. They are great little ball players. But, we're building confidence. They're young. They're 9. They're young. And you'd said one time, hey, a lot of this doesn't matter quite yet until they hit puberty because all this changes. But, if we could teach our kids to be more vocal and confident, even if they do play in high school but don't play in college, some of them might play in college. At the end of the day, at the very least, they're going to be leaders. They're going to be confident in their decisions. They're going to be confident in the way they bounce back from things, and confidence and being vocal. And, those are 2 big things. And going back to the effort, that those aren't going to hurt anybody.
Right.
And as we wrap up here too, I want to make it a point too. We're bringing a lot of people into these communities.
Right.
Especially in Metro Atlanta area, very strong youth sports, beyond baseball. And for tourism specifically, it's awesome, because we're bringing these individuals into our parks. They're going to the restaurants, they're sticking around shopping. Grandparents are coming in. You walk around any of these different parks and fields, and they are flooded with people. And I like to think that these programs whether it's travel or rec, for example, are bringing in transient business that are really helping these businesses to succeed. And, you know, we appreciate the families that are here. We appreciate the families that come to support their grandchildren, their sons, their daughters, that buy into the types of programs, that buy into what the coaches are doing. That's a big part of it, you know, because there's managing kids and there's managing the parentals, right? And the families that come along with it. And I'll just say, I think from my experience with BSBL, the experience has been awesome because the parents seem to really understand not only what we're doing as coaches, but what BSBL as a program is doing. And, you know, that's a really kind of a nod to you all for what you're building here. And I appreciate the opportunity to really be involved in it. And, you know, I'll say one last quick little open-ended, if you guys had anything to kind of leave our you know, viewers with who are tuning in that are unfamiliar with youth sports, maybe they got a bad perception of youth baseball, travel baseball. Carlos, what's something, you know, you would leave our viewers with?
I would leave them with enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I like that.
Really just enjoy the moment. I think often, and especially in travel baseball and how competitive it is in the region, we kind of lose sight of just we're here for fun. We're here to enjoy the experience. Let's enjoy the moment, not think forward to college or to pros, right? Let's enjoy the now, right? And the future will work itself out. And that's what I try to always message to my families, right? Let's just enjoy the moment. Let's have fun. Let's a family. You know, I was just texting with one of the parents last night, right? And I said, you know, baseball family is so different. You know, the love that we have, the amount of time that we spend together.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Plenty of that.
Yeah, let's enjoy the now. And that's what I would leave them with.
You got it. Matt?
Very well said. Yeah. You know, live where your feet are. Yeah. I think youth sports, it's a full circle thing. You know, I'm 42 years old. I'm never going to get back on the field as a player and play again, but I've got a son and now a daughter in youth sports. My mother, who is 75 years old, she's got 2 grandkids. Well, she's got 4 grandkids that are playing youth sports, but 2 here in Roswell, my 2 kids. So it impacts everybody. You know, it's an opportunity at any stage in life. You can go out and see the joy on the kids' faces, the parents, the grandparents. I just love during summer ball, the summer season. You've got people out there in ice cream trucks and the smoothie trucks and food trucks and things like that. I mean, it's like a picnic and a carnival, and there's a baseball game going on. But you know, especially in Roswell, we have such beautiful parks and you know, the natural resources with the river and the commerce here is incredible. So I think, you know, people coming from out of town get to see what we call home and how special this place is. And it's pretty fulfilling for me seeing how quick it's grown, which is a testament to Nick and Carlos. I wouldn't have been able to grow it at this point or to this point. And hopefully we continue to grow over the next couple of years. But the fulfillment is through the roof. This is fulfillment in my life. You know, my day job has an office right next door to you. But I don't lay in bed and think about real estate or think about construction. I don't know if I should say that and let everybody hear me say that, but
I gotcha.
You know, I think about baseball and I think about, you know, practices we just had or a practice coming up or a tournament coming up. And it's just a lot of fun for all of us at different stages in life.
100%. I love that. Well, and you guys, Carlos, you do a good job, you know, with all the social media and everything. So for all of our listeners and our viewers, where they can get more information, whether it's a social media account, the website, how to learn more about Roswell BSBL.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kristen Lash actually handles our social media platforms.
She's a rock star too.
Yeah, 100%. I have no idea how to handle social media. So she handles that. Like Matt said, she's a rock star with that. But yes, visit RoswellBSBL.com. You know, our Instagram, Roswell BSBL, Facebook pages as well too. You know, we're looking to do a TikTok eventually and whatnot, really expand our social following here because, you know, we really feel like we're doing good for the community here. We want everybody to see BSBL.
Yeah, love it. Yep, and hopefully you'll come out for a tryout if you're thinking about it. Love to have you. And, you know, gentlemen, it's been great to have you on. Appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it.